You're listening to Her Money, Her Business, a podcast for women starting or growing their own business. And it features episodes about knowing your finances, improving your money confidence, and growing a profitable business that's built to last. If you wish you were good with money, want to feel more confident managing your money, or want to struggle less while making money, then you're in the right place. I'm your host, Sonja Balzarolo, business financials coach, bookkeeper, and champion for women who want to be the master of their own financials. So let's get started. Hello, welcome to episode 26 of the podcast. So today I wanted to talk about sales, in particular the sales that are happening as I'm recording this podcast. So we've got Black Friday sales coming up. We've got Christmas sales coming up if that's part of your business and what you offer. And so I just wanted to really have a chat to you today about having some thought behind what you offer in these types of situations and sales. A lot of people participate in Black Friday sales in particular. A lot of people don't participate in them. And either way, there's no right or wrong. But if you are participating, you should really put some thought behind what you're offering and whether the deal that you're offering is in line with how you want to grow your business. And is it in line with what you want to be doing in your business? So as an example, if you were offering coaching in your business as an offer, doing something like a Black Friday sale, if it's successful, may bring you a lot of sales, but it also means you've got to deliver on those things. So if you're considering offering coaching as part of that Black Friday sale as an example, just make sure that you're prepared for what may come of that and having to then book in coaching calls and deliver on sales. The other side of it is that if you are offering something for sale that is a reasonably valuable product in your or service in your range of products and services, then the price that you're offering, is it going to return the investment? So on a course and a digital product, that's fairly straightforward. You've already made it. So anything you sell it for is a bonus. So offering those types of things in Black Friday sales or Friday Christmas, if the content of that digital product is relevant or course, then that's fantastic. That's just extra sales and money in your pocket. Well done. But if it's something that requires some input from you, so it might be a service-based offering, or it might be a component of the offer is you needing to deliver something, or you offering a product for sale that costs you money to make, or it costs you money to purchase to on-sell, make sure that you're covering your costs, that you're not going under your break-even figures, so that you know that you're not going to have a loss just by being able to participate in these sales. So that's something to definitely have a look at and consider. So I really wanted to just touch on that. Christmas sales, the exact same thing applies. If you're doing Christmas sales, you are more than likely doing product sales because Christmas is generally going to be more around purchasing, obviously, of gifts and things, and therefore that's more relevant to a product business. And if Christmas time is a fantastic time for you to sell what your product is, then obviously the marketing and the effort that you put around that, if this is your busiest time of year, then you're going to, obviously put a lot of effort in that to bring it home before the end of the year, when you may close out or close down, or you come into a slower period in your business. So making sure you've got a plan around all of that is obviously a good idea, and I'm sure you do if you're a product-based business. For a service-based business, I think that I talked about on my Facebook page yesterday in a post was 5 tips to getting financially prepared for time off over the Christmas break. So that, talking about those sales and what's coming up in that busy period, does really nicely lead into this. So I'm going to have a chat about that as well today with you. And that is talking about being financially prepared over that Christmas break. So if this is one of your busiest times of year, whether it's because of the sales of products at this time of year is works very well with Christmas and presents, etc., or whether the Black Friday sales are really one of the biggest sales of the year
year for you where you make lots of revenue in a short amount of time, then that may also mean that you're coming into a slower season. So that may mean that you're closing down over Christmas, or it may mean that once Christmas Day comes, anything that happens after that for the next, let's say, 1 to 2 months might be a much slower period in your business. And it's really important from a cash flow point of view. And cash flow is something that business owners talk to me about all the time. And how do I better manage my cash flow? Then this is one of those examples. Coming into this period of time where you might have a big spike in revenue and you've got all this money, but then you have a dip for the next few months, you've really got to make sure that you are preparing financially so that you are covering all of the costs and things that are to come when you've got that slower period coming. So that can be things like, putting away money that's coming out of this increased revenue period. It may mean that you think about what you can do in the new year in that low period to actually offer some other things that could boost your revenue, even though it's technically a low period for you. So I talked about some things on the post I did on social media, and I might just run through some of those. So working out what can realistically get done between now and your time off. So time is obviously also part of your financials. So your time is money. So making sure that whatever time you've got left between now and when you take a break, if you're taking a break over Christmas or coming into that lower period of sales in the new year, making sure that you're focusing on the things that generate income that can give your revenue a bit of a boost in this last run up to Christmas. So working out what's realistic and then focusing on those things. If you've got projects and things that you're trying to close out before Christmas and you can roll them over to the new year, or if you're just expecting too much of yourself because really your focus should be on bringing in that extra income while you've got the chance with all of these sales periods, etc., happening, then focus more on those things. Maybe let some of those things go. You don't have all the time in the world between now and Christmas. There's really, from today, really only about 4 weeks left. So just be realistic about that and focus on the things that'll generate you some income. I've suggested that you have a look at your direct debits that are coming out over the break and the public holidays to avoid any default payments. And also really have a look at anything that you can cancel. So if you are actually closing down or having a holiday and a bigger break than perhaps 2 weeks or so, then it might be worth having a look at any recurring services that you have that you might be able to put on pause for a few weeks. Because if you're really not going to use them, then the money's better in your pocket, particularly if you're coming into a lean or a low in revenue in your business after the Christmas break. Obviously, letting your clients know exactly when you're off. And one thing in particular that service-based businesses can do is try and book some services into the new year. So do that before you go on your break at Christmas, so that when you come back in the new year, not only have you got projects and work to get on with, but also, they're already locked in and you've already got set sales to help with that low period, if that's a low period for you after Christmas. So trying to load up your January, February, etc., is a good thing to focus on in December if you can fit that in with all the sales, etc., going on. And lastly, if you do have staff or regular contractors or even suppliers that need to be paid while you're off on a break, then work out a plan ahead of time. So particularly for payroll, if you're needing to run payroll, how are you actually going to make that happen? Sometimes, depending on your software system, you can schedule things ahead of time. So you can run your payrolls ahead of time. If you know the hours that people are going to be working, then you can schedule them with your bank to pay them on those dates. You can organise people to cover the payroll for you. Really depends what your situation is with your staff and with whether they're permanents, casuals, all that sort of stuff comes into it. If you've got regular contractors and suppliers that generally are getting paid by you, let's say once a week or, once every couple of weeks or things, and you know that those payments are going to fall while you're away, then make sure that you communicate with them and just let them know. The last thing you need is to come back relaxed and less stressed in the new year, and then all of a sudden you're having to put out lots of fires because people didn't know you were on a break or didn't know when they were going to get paid, etc. So the theme here really on, preparing financially for that Christmas break comes down to planning. So planning ahead in terms of your cash flow, Now, if you're not in the Money In, Money Out mini course that I run and that sponsors this podcast, then there is a sale for Black Friday that I'm doing. So it's a 50% off the course, and there's also a bundle with some coaching in there as well. If you're not across cash flow, then in that course, there is a section on cash flow, and there's a spreadsheet in there that can help you project your cash flow. So that's just a side note, a little plug for the mini course there. But it all, yes, as I said, really comes down to planning. So planning to cover off your expenses if you're in a down period for a few weeks or a month or two when you come back from Christmas. Planning to make sure everyone that is relevant knows that you're going to be on a break if you are, and planning for the next 4 weeks to really do as much as you can to increase your revenue and give your business and your revenue line a boost before you go into what a lot of businesses is that low period when you come out of that Christmas break. So I would love to see you in the mini course if you wanted to take up the Black Friday discount. So on a final note, this really is the perfect time, if not a couple of weeks ago to now, to really plan this last 4 weeks heading into Christmas and get yourself financially prepared to have a break or to at least have a few days off in your business and a bit of downtime. So I hope this has been useful for you. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you on the next episode. Bye for now.
This episode was brought to you by my mini course, Money In, Money Out. Head over to our website, blossomingbusiness.com.au, for this episode's show notes found under podcasts. And if you're interested, jump on the Money In, Money Out waitlist to find out when it's next available. You've been listening to the Her Money, Her Business podcast with me, Sonja Balzarolo. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a review over on iTunes. It really does help to get the podcast out to more people. And of course, I love hearing your feedback. Thanks for listening. And here's to knowing your finances and growing your business. It's your money, your business.